Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Naren Prakash. I'm a consultant dermatologist in Miracles Mediclinics, and today I'll be talking about the various skin issues faced by pregnant women. Now, we've all heard the famed term, the pregnancy glow. Unfortunately, very few women are actually happy with their skin during pregnancy, and most, if not all, will face one or the other skin issue during the course of their 9 months. Now, pregnancy is a long process. There's a lot going on inside the body. Your body is working in overdrive to not only meet your needs but also of that of the baby. Your hormones are going off the roof. There are various metabolic and chemical changes happening in the body, which ultimately affect each and every organ of the body, and skin is no different. So, today I would like to give you a brief outline on what all skin conditions can happen in pregnancy and educate you about which of these are part of the normal process, so you do not need to worry about them, and which ones you do need to worry about. And in the end, I'll just give you some tips on what you can do to have a healthier skin, not only during pregnancy but also after that. So let's start with the commonest problem that women face during pregnancy, which is hyperpigmentation. Now, what is hyperpigmentation? Is just deposition of a dark pigment on your skin, which presents as brown or blackish patches. Now, this can happen in various different ways in different women. Some women can experience pigmentation around the nipple area, which is the areola. Some can have pigmentation in the thigh region. Some can have in the axillary region, which is the armpits, back of the neck, your upper back, even the forehead. If you have any pigmented conditions before pregnancy, like some women have freckles, some women have moles, these can actually become larger, they can become darker, and they can start looking more angry. One of the commonest pigmentation is what we call the mask of pregnancy. So this is a type of melasma that occurs in the centrofacial part of the face, which is and presents as dark brownish patches. Now, this is a major cause of concern as it's on the face, so naturally a lot of women are distressed about it. Now, the good part about the pigmentation occurring in pregnancy is most of it does settle down 6 months after childbirth, though some conditions can persist for up to 2 years. So even though this condition is part of a normal process, so obviously you cannot prevent it from happening completely, but we can take some steps which can help in reducing its long-term impact. Now, the most important is to wear a sunscreen. Now, any sunscreen above SPF 30 is good. For people with oily skin, they can go for a water-based sunscreen. For people with a dry skin, they can go for a water-based sunscreen. Our sunscreen should at least be applied 2 to 3 times so that it can be adequately effective. Even while wearing a sunscreen, try and stay indoors as much as possible. Even when you're staying indoors, try and be away from the windows. Try and be away from any strong direct light source which can increase your pigmentation. Just by following these simple steps, you can reduce the effect of melasma, the long-term effect of melasma. Like in some women, it may persist for 2 years, so they have a very hard time in getting it treated. If they have been taking preventive measures from the beginning, it will never get that bad that it needs to be treated. So next, coming to another, I'll not even call it a skin problem, but more of a skin peculiarity, that are the stretch marks. Now, stretch marks, obviously, when in second and third trimester, as your abdomen is growing out, your skin stretches, and this causes the stretch marks, or striae as we call them. So these striae, initially they can be red, they can be purple, they can be angry looking. At this stage, there can be some pain experienced by the patient, there can be some burning experienced, or some itching. So it can cause some distress to the patient. At this stage, you can consult a dermatologist who can prescribe certain creams that can help in elevating the pain and the itching. At home remedies, you can use any oil which has vitamin E in it, which helps in soothing the skin, though it will not prevent the stretch marks, but it will lead to a smoother skin, which can eventually then lead to a better contraction of the stretch marks. Now, stretch marks after delivery, they do fade away. They tend to take the color of the surrounding skin, but they never go away completely. So for a lot of women, these are like, they consider them as beauty marks or victory marks, but a lot of other women also want to get them treated. So now in this age, we do have a lot of treatment modalities available for stretch marks, though none of those has 100% efficacy. So if you want to get your stretch marks treated, I suggest you wait 6 months after delivery and then see your dermatologist, talk to him or her, and see what best treatment works for you. Now coming to another very common problem is pregnancy associated acne. Now this is especially true in women who have had a history of acne, who have an acne prone skin, and they a lot of times they suffer from very serious bouts of acne during their 9 months of pregnancy. So some simple steps can be used just to prevent at least the severity of acne, if not acne altogether. So the most important is to remove the excess oil from your face. Now again, because of the increased hormones in your body, they stimulate the oil producing cells to produce more oil, and this causes this is one of the major reasons of acne increasing during pregnancy. So this can be handled by using a gentle cleanser at least twice a day, which helps in removing the excess oil, sebum and the dirt which sits on your skin and prevents acne eruption from happening. Another thing is, especially if you have oily hair, make sure you shampoo them regularly, remove the excess oil from your hair. Do not apply any hair oil which can give more oil to your hair, because any oil trickling down from your scalp causes acne on your forehead. So that is something that you can do simple steps so acne doesn't get very bad. Then again, the regular steps for acne: make sure you're not picking your pimples, make sure any cosmetics, if you're use all non-comedogenic products, any other creams, anything that you use on your face, make sure it does not increase your acne. Now next, coming to a very important topic is the genital hygiene during pregnancy. Now most of the women during their 9 months, they'll experience some kind of a vaginal discharge, which if not cleaned regularly can sit there, and that can provide a perfect breeding ground for various bacteria and fungi to cause an infection. So it's important that we clean that area regularly. There are certain intimate washes available, you can use those. Otherwise a gentle soap with water is good enough, but make sure you're doing it at least twice a day so the discharge keeps getting cleaned regularly. This is especially difficult in late pregnancy when those areas become a little difficult to reach. So make sure you're doing it, and you're doing it regularly, even in the later stages. Now another problem that women face is a dry, itchy skin. Now what happens is, there are two reasons for your dry skin in pregnancy. One is because once your skin stretches, so it tends to lose the moisture to the environment, and that's how the skin gets dry. The other is your body tries to divert away all the nourishment from the skin to give to the baby or to the other vital organs that require it more. So that leaves your skin dry, dull looking, and it just lacks nourishment at that point. So it's important to provide that to the skin externally. That can be done by using a good moisturizer. Use it at least twice a day again. And one of the tricks of using a moisturizer so it stays for a longer time is to apply it on a wet surface. So what you can do is, immediately after bath, don't rub yourself dry, just pat yourself dry, leave some water droplets over the skin surface, and apply a thick layer of moisturizer over it. So that moisturizing layer will tend to stay much longer than if the moisturizer was applied directly on dry skin. Now another problem that women face, this is especially true if you do not exercise regularly, or if you're sitting at one position for a long time and not moving about, is varicose veins. So varicose veins are dilated blue colored vessels that appear on the legs, and they look very scary, but actually they're pretty harmless. And it happens because of the uterus getting larger, and it puts pressure, so which prevents the blood flow back to your heart. This leads to blocking of the blood flow, and this causes dilatation of the veins. A simple thing that you can do to prevent this is make sure you're taking at least a 5-minute walk every half an hour to 45 minutes, not sitting for more than an hour at one position. If you've already got varicose veins, you can, while sleeping, keep 2 pillows under your leg. If you're sitting, then you can keep a stool and keep your leg over it, so that your leg is at the same level as your body, and it causes an increase in blood flow from your legs to your heart. So I think someone has asked a question about hair fall. I'm just coming to that. Some women can also experience some form of increased sweating, which we call hyperhidrosis. So this happens in the usual culprit areas like palms, soles, axillary region. Usually they do not require any treatment, as it does settle down after delivery on its own. But if it is very distressing for you, there are certain aluminium based products available. You can see your dermatologist. He or she can prescribe you that aluminium product that can help in reducing your sweat. Now certain nail changes can also occur in some women. They can experience certain brittle nails, and sometimes nails can even break off completely. But this is also a physiological process, a normal process, and the nails usually return to normal after delivery. Another condition is what we call skin tags or acrocodon. So skin tags, you might have seen, especially in obese individuals, on the neck, on the armpit area. You can see certain pedunculated lesions with a stalk, like or skin-colored lesions with a stalk. So they're about 1 inch long lesions. They're completely harmless. They do not affect your body in any way. But if they're a cosmetic concern for you, they can be removed. Do not try and remove them at home, because that will leave a scar then. But then see a doctor. He or she can remove them by using a laser or a cautery machine, the various procedures available for that. So these were some conditions which are part of the normal process of pregnancy, and they're completely physiological. Even if they cause some distress to the patient, they can be managed. There are certain conditions. I'd like to give you a brief outline of those as well, which are specific to pregnancy, and which in some conditions can have an adverse effect on the mother and the fetus. So it's important so you know the signs of that. So the first sign, you can come and see your doctor for that. The commonest condition in this, but and also the least harmful, so that's a good thing, is pruritic urticarial papules of pregnancy. Now these present as itchy red bumps all over the body, usually starting on the abdomen, and you'll see bouts of them coming. So you'll see about 8 to 10 lesions, then they'll subside in the next 24 hours, and you'll see new lesions propping up at new places. So this is called a urticarial wheal type of a lesions. If you have ever had hives, so they'll look very similar to the hives. So another condition in this which you need to watch out for is called cholestasis of pregnancy. Now the fetus growing inside the mother does not have a way to excrete its waste products out. So the mother's liver has to work overtime to help out with that. This sometimes can lead to buildup of bile acids in the mother's blood, which eventually can lead to jaundice. But before that, it presents as severe itching on the skin. Now, the peculiar part about this is there will be no skin lesions. So that's a telltale sign for this. You'll have a lot of itching, more pronounced at night, usually starting on the palms and then spreading centrally to your whole body. This condition, if not recognized early, and if it goes on for a long time, if the bile acids increase is there in the blood for a long time, it can have an adverse effect on your fetus. Now lastly, there is a condition called pemphigoid gestationis. It's very rare, but it's a serious condition. So that's why I just want to mention 2 lines about it. If you notice any blistering on your skin, or any fluid filled lesions on your skin, or any constitutional symptoms, what we say is any fever, any tiredness with skin lesions, you should consult your dermatologist immediately. Now let's come to the hair. Now hair in pregnancy is kind of like a double-edged sword. So it behaves in a very different way. During pregnancy, during the 9 months, your hair actually get thicker, they get longer. So a lot of women are very happy, especially over the scalp, their hair become much better. This is because of the influence of hormones. Now the pregnancy hormones shift the hair profile towards a male pattern more. So this leads to initially to a thicker, more dense hair, but then it also leads to hair in unwanted places. So women can have hair on the chest, women can have hair on the arms, women can have hair in the beard area, which is obviously very distressing for them. Rest assured, this gets like, these hair get okay on their own after delivery, and in most of the cases no treatment is required. Now what is more distressing is the hair fall that happens immediately after delivery. Now this is something we call telogen effluvium. It usually comes after 3 months after delivery, but it can start immediately after delivery as well. So in this, there will be massive amount of hair fall, and women are so distressed. They come with tufts of hair in their hand. I've had patients come with actual hair in their hand, making a ball of hair, and they're so scared and that if I keep losing hair like this, I'll be completely bald in 3 months. But there is no way to really prevent this condition. What you can do is to provide adequate nutrition to your hair at this time, so that the hair that are already there, that are still present, at least have a good nutrition. It is a completely reversible condition. Most of the hair that you lose during this period will come back in 6 to 9 months. So this is the most important, is reassurance in this. You have to be assured that these hair are not, it's not like a permanent hair loss. The hair that you're losing immediately after delivery for about 6 months, they will come back in the next 6 to 9 months, and you will get about 80% of your pre-pregnancy hair. So this was about the basic skin lesions and the hair that happen in pregnancy. And I hope I educated you about certain things. Now you can differentiate what are the conditions that are harmless and you don't need to worry about them, and which conditions you need to worry about, so you can see a dermatologist immediately for that. I'd like to leave you with some tips, just to summarize some tips that you can follow to have a healthier skin during and after pregnancy. So most importantly, have a nutritious pregnancy specific diet that gives you all the essential nutrients and vitamins needed, not only for your body but also for your skin. Drink adequate water, because water is not only needed by your body, it's also needed for your skin to keep it hydrated. If you're not able to have adequate nutrition or adequate any form of nutrition, any supplement, any nutrition which is not adequate, you can take supplements for that. For that, you can contact your gynecologist or your dermatologist, who can give you a specific supplements which are needed for whichever part of your body. Now, coming to the skin, use a broad spectrum sunscreen. Again, I repeat it, it's very important, not only for preventing hyperpigmentation but also in acne. So use a broad spectrum sunscreen. Even if you're staying home, use it at least twice a day. If you're stepping out, use it 3 times a day. A good moisturizer will go a long way in preventing dry, itchy skin. It will also help in reducing reducing the size of the stretch marks or the width of the stretch marks. And so keep your skin well moisturized. Any moisturizer that lasts at least for 6 to 7 hours and your skin feels moist after that is good enough. If you have any pre-existing skin conditions like eczemas or psoriasis, consult with the doctor, as a lot of conditions either increase or decrease in the influence of pregnancy. So your medicines, if you're on any medicines for that, they need to be adjusted accordingly. For skin tags, if you're bothered about skin tags, you can see your doctor. Don't worry about it. Wait 6 months, let your lactation period be over, and then maybe we can talk about removing them. For acne, for women with acne prone skin, use cleansers, remove the oil from your skin, make sure you're not applying any hair oil, make sure you're shampooing regularly. Don't let your hair fall on your face too much, because all this can increase the acne on your face. To prevent varicose veins, make sure you take a 5-minute, 10-minute walk every half an hour, every hour, so your legs keep on moving and keep on pumping the blood up. So this is all from me. Thank you everyone. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you. Bye.